This car behind me doesn't get a lot of love on the channel for whatever reason. But it's back in the garage. We did the E-jet. Well, no, we've replaced the glow plugs on it, which meant I had to take all the inlet manifold off. It was full of shite. We cleaned it all out. It runs a lot nicer. I've not been for driving it yet. I wanted to get this job done. Shock absorbers. And looking at the state of these, this is the driver's side, UK car, so the other side. The bottom part is bent. I don't know if you can, if the camera picks that up. That goes off at an angle. That should be straight. It's as rusty as arseholes, and it's leaking. So we're going to replace them. I've already done one side. Bilstein OE spec shock absorbers. Really, you know, pretty cheap actually. €47 each. It looks like that. Comes with a nut on it at the bottom. You use the one for the top again. As you will see, the bottom of that is straight. I would say that they're probably the originals that have been on the car since new, 2005. Now, from what could be a 10-minute job, turns into a little bit more of a complicated session because you've got to take most of the interior out of the boot to get to the top nut, which is quite straightforward. I'll just quickly show you. It's not going to be a how-to video, but that unbolts from the bottom, that unbolts from the top. Squeeze it together, pull it out, put the new one in. There is a cover that goes over the top of that, which I've got brand new ones with a rubber thing at the top. There is bushes at the top and there is a bush at the bottom that bolts into the bottom arm, but we're not changing any of that this time. So let's just get these shock absorbers changed. And Dad did say to me, will we notice a difference in the ride? I says, yes, probably, because you've got sports suspension on your car. Audi, BMW, probably some other makes as well. When you order shock absorbers, they always give you the option standard chassis or sport chassis. Now with BMW, you get standard chassis, sport chassis, M Sport chassis. So obviously the M Sport is a bit different again, but this is the sport chassis. So I said probably you will, because it'll be a harder ride if the shock absorbers are doing what they're supposed to. I don't know. It might just be the difference in the length if the car sits a little bit lower. I don't know. I'm not a bloody expert on these things. Anyway, I say I've done one side. It's a bit of a drama. You've got to take most of the boot interior out. I'll put in the video what you've got to take out, and it's quite straightforward. So I'm going to crack on and get on with this. So this panel here has to come off. You can pop a cover off there. There, you've got a Phillips screw in there, a Phillips screw in there, and then down in here, wherever it is, there you've got like a little press-in bung, which are these things. So take that off, pull that out the way, and then over there you've got, in there you've got a Torx screw. Undo that, pull the plastic bit off, and then this trim panel has to come out. I'll do that now. Well, I won't be able to show you because I need both hands. It's got a big rubber cover over the top of that. Undo it at the bottom, swap it over, put everything back. There you go, 2005. And that's bent as well. Who would have thought I'd be getting a sweat on in October? October the 14th today, is it? 13th? 14th? No, 15th. Oh, I don't know, I've lost track. I know I've got to pick the old dears up from the airport on Wednesday. This is all back together. Wheels torqued up. I've just got a Torx bolt to screw in on the interior panel. I'll get the Hobbit to come and do that because it's a bit tricky for me to reach. We'll go for a little drive up the road and I'll finish this video off up the road. So we'll see you inside the car. Just gonna go for a little steady drive. Make sure the brakes are all... it just feels really weird after the Range Rover. I'm talking to the camera. It's low down, it's hard suspension, steering feels heavy, because of course the Range Rover, it's just luxury, isn't it? As far as cars go, it's not bad. Well, I'm not getting any clonks and bangs in the back yet. Brakes are pretty good. Let's drive on some off-road a little bit. No, it's pretty good. It goes. It's quite a hard ride, and you can sort of feel all the bumps. But it's sports suspension, so you've got to sort of put up with that, haven't you? Now I'm assuming a lot of that is to do with the shite that's still in the system. We'll get on some better roads and I'll see if I can demonstrate it. I mean, it's 160 odd horsepower when it was new, when the engine was nice, fresh and clean. What it'll be putting out now, I've no idea. But it's quite nippy. Obviously it's a bit of a sluggish gearbox. You could probably you can go up and down through the gears as when you please. Now I can't remember what it was like to drive before with the old shock absorbers and before all the engine was cleaned out, so I can't really tell you. She's chucking out some smoke. Now I know my dad doesn't drive this car too hard, but I think it needs a bit of a clear out every now and again, because that is proper smoke. It's actually getting better. The smoke is actually starting to clear a little bit. But the ride feels alright. As I say, there's no knocking or banging in the back, so shock absorbers are all good. We did have a little bit of a drama with the shock absorbers. Ordered some cheap ones, Ridex. Now, I'm not sure if I've actually used Ridex parts before, but they were the cheapest on Autodoc. Turns out the threads on those were shite. It was provided with new nuts. Put the new nuts on. Just chucking out a bit of the old smoke still. It's not too bad. Feels wrong. I've not driven a right-hand drive car for a while. Not since we got rid of the TD6. But yeah, it holds the road quite well. Cyclist. I think a gearbox service would be quite a good idea. I'll look up and see what gearbox is in this. I'm pretty sure it's a ZF gearbox. That won't have been serviced I wouldn't have thought, looking at the state of the shock absorbers and other bits and pieces on this car. We did service the engine last year. Let's throw it into a corner with a little bit of gusto, shall we? I wouldn't say it handles like it's on rails, but it does feel sort of fairly planted. The gearbox does feel quite sluggish, so I'll see if I can convince my dad at some point that we'll do a gearbox service on the car. Change the filter, change the oil, all that kind of thing. Dairy cows? Cows! Any fans of bottom will know what I'm on about. Cows! That's not very nice, Eddie. It was a cow. Well, it has got a little bit of go when, you know, the turbo gets spooling up, and I say the smoking it is clearing a bit. But proof will be in the pudding. Let Dad drive it for a while, see what he thinks. He should get more miles to the gallon. So at the end of the day, with all that crap that was in the inlet manifold and the EGR system, the engine was like trying to breathe through a straw. But as I said before previously, this is not my cup of tea. But then been a bit spoilt with the Range Rover. When you've driven Range Rovers for a few years and you get into a, I wouldn't say inferior car, but in a different car that's not built to the same level, spec and all that kind of thing, it's yeah. Oh, there she is up there. Hello, Hobbit! I'll turn around and park up here somewhere. See what it's like off-road, shall we? Bennett. Rocket, it's stuck in the field. Traction control works, ABS works. Alright mate, it's only me. Oh yeah, no, I've just took my seatbelt off. Alright, we know that I've got my seatbelt on. Yeah, you should have seen it up the road.
I can imagine, because it was...
The old boy was down there with a young lad.
All right.
With a front loader, and they was getting stuff out of the trees.
The young lads?
From over there.
The youngest?
No, old lad. And I had to get on the grass. I went round and put my foot down. Smoke. Would have choked him out a little bit. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.